Hello, Racy here, and this is Racy Recaps. Today I am going to explain a Russian science fiction action film called Coma. But before that, I just want to give a huge spoiler alert for the movie. If you haven't checked it out yet, then this is your chance to quit playing. But if you want to continue, then I hope you thumbs up the video and also subscribe to the channel. At the start of the film, we see a utopian city with white futuristic buildings, but no people. However, the buildings quickly begin to deteriorate and turn black. A miniature model of the same city is in an apartment in the following scene. An architect wakes up right next to it and is perplexed as to where he is. He examines a photograph of himself and a girl with a distorted face. Things in the apartment begin to deteriorate all of a sudden. The architect exits the room, taken aback by the blackening ceiling. Outside, there is a stranger who is also deteriorating. The perplexed man then runs outside the building, where he finds himself in a strange world where buildings levitate in the sky and people fade away. In his fascination, he looks around the place and comes across a monstrous creature that appears to be melting and regenerating. The creature assaults the architect and knocks him to the ground. Two people stand in front of him when he opens his eyes again. The group grabs the architect and flees from the creature who is following them. During the chase, they jump from building to building, defying physics. They even jump on the road right above them at one point, proving that gravity does not exist in this new world. Suddenly, they enter a stall and arrive in Venice. Phantom shoots the monstrous creature before it can reach them. However, the attack only slows the creature down because its body immediately reforms. The architect, who is completely perplexed, follows the others. Finally, one of them, Pilot, jumps in to stall the creature, allowing the other three to flee at the expense of his own life. As they transport him to a safe zone, the architect asks them numerous questions about his whereabouts. A girl named Fly reveals that he is in a coma and has entered a world where all coma patients go. Because the human brain stores memories in the form of an electromagnetic field, when one falls into a coma, the memories become your reality. As a result, the location is a collective memory of everyone in the world who is in a coma. This explains the flying structures and stalls that lead to various parts of the world. Still unsure of what is going on, the architect inquires about the creature that attacked them earlier. The creature, according to Fly, was a brain-dead person. When a person dies in a coma, they transform into reapers, who have the ability to transform others into creatures like them. Fly then comes to a halt and begins to heal the architect's wounds in his head. Finally, the three arrive at an old bus that has been abandoned. They enter through one door and exit through another into a completely different location. Fly explains that this world is made up of people's memories that have been jumbled together. When one person remembers the bus being in a field and another remembers it being near a building, it creates a wormhole-like system that they have just experienced. Phantom, Fly, and the architect encounter a group of people who are enraged that they allowed Pilot to die. Yan, the group's leader, tells everyone that it was all worth it because they now have the architect. He requests that Fly show the visitor around and explain everything to him. The girl leads him to his room and explains why he was brought to the base. It turns out that their leader Yan once awoke from a coma and discovered how the coma world works. Because no one remembers who they were in real life, they adopt fictitious names such as the astronomer, the spirit, and so on. Except when they are attacked by reapers, they live a happy life in the new world. Yan believes there is an island without reapers on it, so their group is always on the lookout for people who can assist them in reaching the island. For the same reason, the architect has been brought to the bottom. According to Yan, the architect could be very useful in assisting them in establishing a colony on the mentioned island. Fly abandons him in order for him to rest. The architect dreams of driving to a religious site at night. He has a hazy memory of fleeing the scene with a girl and getting into an accident. When the man awakens, his room has been transformed into the location of the accident. The architect is fascinated by the car and himself inside it, while the location he visited before the accident has also materialized in his dreams. Just then, Phantom walks into the room, watching his dreams come true. He takes a seat and warns the architect to avoid Fly. He also implies that he is the true leader and Yan is merely the group's brain. The architect is then led outside for a test to determine his power. Phantom explains that everyone in the group possesses one or more abilities derived from what they were good at in their previous lives. For example, a girl named Spirit can sense danger, Fly can heal people, Phantom has superhuman strength, and so on. To bring out the architect's strength, he should be confronted with danger so that his flight or fight reflexes can activate. Phantom instructs a man to shoot the architect for this purpose. The architect is shot to the ground as the test begins. He is also attacked by a robot and severely beaten, but his abilities do not activate. Yan appoints him as a manual worker after he fails the test. Yan is informed later that they are running low on the explosive they used to fight the Reapers. So Phantom and the other people with special abilities travel to an explosive factory. The architect requests to accompany them on their mission. Phantom does not want to take him, but he does so when Yan orders him to. They finally arrive at the factory and encounter some guards. A perplexed architect is told that because the person who dreamed of the factory also dreamed of the guards, they will defend the factory with their lives. The group then attacks the guards before arriving at the location where the weapon is hidden. Two of them climb up the weapon to get it out, but they are interrupted by 3 Reapers. Phantom instructs the people obtaining the weapon to continue while the rest of them flee. In times of crisis, the architect's abilities come to life. Using his imagination, he easily constructs a bridge. The person on top of the weapon uses it to descend below and safely flee. Everyone at the bottom applauds the architect for his bravery. Yan is eager to get started on building an island with the architect as soon as possible. Phantom, surprised, says he wants to discuss it with Yan first, but Yan dismisses him and appoints the astronomer as team leader. The astronomer can use maps to navigate through the coma world. Phantom asks Yan sarcastically to tell the others the whole truth, only to be dismissed. They intend to begin their journey to a safe location the following day. At night, the architect tries to build something similar to what he did during the mission, but is unable to focus. Fly approaches him and suggests that he visualize the blueprints for the things he wants to build. As a result, the architect is able to construct a structure in seconds. They are later in the astronomer's room, looking at the wrecked car. When Fly asks if the girl in the car is someone he loves, the astronomer says he doesn't care. He has begun to enjoy his new life in this world, where he is free to build wherever he wants. As they converse, the two end up kissing, unaware that Phantom has been listening in on their conversation the entire time. The group prepares for the journey the next morning. The astronomer creates a map of the safe route away from the Reapers. Phantom, however, brings a Reaper calling whistle with him before they depart. He intends to plant it on the architect in order to attract a Reaper to himself. They finally begin their journey, but are forced to halt in the middle when Spirit detects Reapers approaching. Phantom suggests they split up and go in different directions to figure out where they're coming from and then report back. The architect follows the whistle that Phantom has planted on him. Soon after, he is attacked by a Reaper, but he is saved by a man named Tank, whom Yan had sent for assistance. When everyone discovers that Phantom is behind the Reapers who are following them, they return to the group. Phantom, seeing himself being exposed, says something about Yan concealing the truth. Yan shoots him before he can explain himself, turning him into a Reaper as well. They are soon surrounded by Reapers, who kill 2 of their teammates. The others are able to flee while still being pursued. They are about to enter the safe zone when the world around the architect begins to fade and he begins to awaken from his coma. His eyes open in the real world, and he suddenly recalls everything that occurred prior to the accident. Fly was the girl who got into an accident with him, much to his surprise. She had driven him to a client who was a religious leader with a large following before the accident. Fly was concerned for the architect's safety because he wasn't your typical client. As a result, she handed him a taser and waited outside while he went inside for the meeting. A man led him inside to the religious leader, who turned out to be Yan. They then all went into a room with several people on ventilators. The architect was assaulted as people attempted to sedate him, but he was able to escape using the taser. He got into the car with Fly outside, but they were soon involved in an accident. Back in the present, the architect awakens beside Yan in a hospital bed. When he asks Yan who he is, he learns that he is a scientist. Yan had discovered life in a coma and wanted to experiment with making it a livable world. As a result, he established himself as a religious leader in order to fund his experiment. Yan recognized the architect's concepts and desired to incorporate them into the coma world. That's why he put Fly and the architect, as well as Phantom and the others, into a coma. The architect responds by saying that even if he creates a perfect world, he will force people to live in it. Yan retaliates by revealing Phantom's true form. He turned out to be disabled in real life, so he relished his time in a coma. As a result, even after regaining all of his memories in that world, Phantom never revealed it to anyone. Yan then requests that the architect be put back into a coma and assist him in building the city of his dreams. He agrees to spare everyone's lives, including Fly's, in exchange. The architect accepts the offer, knowing that it is the only way to save everyone. Before falling back into a coma, Yan reveals that there is a way out of the coma from within the structure. but he will only show it to the architect once his job is completed. The architect wakes up in his apartment again in the following scene. This time, however, he remembers how he got there. He builds a bridge and runs to join the rest of the group. Instead of following orders, the architect reveals that Yan has been deceiving them. Just then, Yan arrives and forces him to build the island exactly as he wants him to. The architect gets his wish and builds a magical utopia. He finally begs Yan to let them go back to the real world. Yan, on the other hand, decides to tell them how miserable their life was outside of the coma. Spirit was in a mental institution, Tank was imprisoned for murdering his neighbors, and Astronomer was an autistic man with poor parents. He also declares the architect to be the worst of all because his career was a colossal failure. Fly begins to regain her memory after hearing this. Spirit, Tank, and Astronomer decide to stay in the utopia, but Yan reveals that he cannot because they know the truth. Before the group can act, the people from the outside world inflict cerebral hypoxia on them, rendering them brain dead. Tank dies instantly, while the others try to find a way to wake up in the real world. They recall Yan always warning them not to look into their materialized dreams, so a way out could be in one of those dreams. The group rushes back to the base, but Spirit vanishes before she can reach it. The others walk into the architect's room and into the building where he was kidnapped. They try to find a way back into the room, only to discover that it has been completely transformed by the merging of people's dreams with it. On the way, the astronomer fades away, leaving the architect and Fly alone. The architect then notices they are in a painting he saw in the room where he was abducted. However, before they can enter the painting, Yan appears in front of them. He is about to kill the two, but they are saved at the last second by a Reaper. The Reaper is revealed to be Phantom, who kills Yan and allows the two to enter the real world via the painting. Following that, both Fly and the architect awaken in real life. They walk out of the building without being stopped by Yan's assistant. The scene then shifts to a few weeks later. The architect has begun to work with his clients' ideas and has stopped innovating on his own. He and Fly are in a good relationship. Yan's religious cult, on the other hand, is thriving even after his death. One day, the architect receives another letter from the group and keeps it safe with him, indicating that he may be on his way to the coma world for a second time. The film ends. Subscribe for more videos like this, turn on the notification bell, and leave a like to support the channel. Thank you for watching.